Hey creative minds and business enthusiasts, welcome to Looks Like We Made It. I'm Izzy, head of production here at Howell Media, and one half of our father-daughter duo alongside my dad Chris, our managing director, and together we're diving into the world of video marketing, content creation and all things creative. Each episode we share real stories, expert tips and the odd laugh along the way. This week we're talking about the squiggly line of self-employment, and we're joined by the brilliant Hayley Ramm from The Efficient Elephant. Let's go!
Creative genius anymore then?
No, we took that months ago.
Okay.
We demoted you ages ago.
Sorry, Hayley.
Demoted you.
Hello, Hayley.
Hello, Hayley. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're not too scared yet?
I'm very scared right now.
I would be.
No, but yeah, you're back.
I'm back.
You're here.
Yeah,
Here.
I'm back.
I'm no longer alone. This is brilliant.
Yeah, we've all been away and done stuff, holidays and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm back.
We're all different shades of tanned now,
Yeah.
aren't we, basically. But so what I want to do, basically, is just find out about you, Hayley. Find out about the efficient elephant.
Efficient elephant.
The efficient. I love that.
The efficient elephant.
I love
You've
that.
got to explain that.
So, the efficient elephant, where was that born? Crikey, that was born out of COVID. The C word.
Yeah.
We've got a
What
few
did-
C
was that
words
real?
in our
Was
house.
that, yeah.
Don't
This is a
start.
family podcast.
Yeah, so I'd been self-employed for 5 years up until COVID, and as you can imagine, the rug was pulled from both my feet, my husband's feet, both self-employed, different businesses. It shut down completely in every way you can possibly imagine it. But as people did, they got creative during COVID, and that was my creative time. And I completed, believe it or not, a personality profile with one of our family friends who's a leadership motivational speaker, and he has, which I think you've done as well, Izzy, a personality profile which depicts you as one of 4 animals, and I came out as an elephant.
It's an elephant.
And so then when I was thinking about, well, what's my value proposition, when we're thinking about branding and all the rest of it, I thought, well, I am super efficient. I am efficient at home and at work. I make life easy for other people, not myself, but for other people, whether it's family or friends or colleagues, I make it easy. So the efficient elephant was born out of COVID. So one good thing came out of COVID.
There's one good thing.
Absolutely, yeah, I love that, and I think I'm also an elephant, so we're forming a herd as we speak.
Good.
But
I did
More
do
the
it.
merrier.
you did do
You
it.
did
What
do it,
you?
Chris.
and
Yes.
I'm a monkey, apparently. So,
Maybe we could do some creative editing with how
Yes,
we're looking
well,
right
yeah,
now.
exactly.
But and why are you a monkey?
I don't know. You just fired loads of questions at me. There was no sort of context as to why I'm a monkey.
I think it's interesting though that there's obviously like the animals, there's the red and the blue and the different colours and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yes.
Like I like how you've taken that quiz and made it into your brand, which
I
I
do
think
as
is
well.
brilliant.
And I also think with all that kind of testing, you can't cheat it because it knows you're cheating it because it knows that's your
That's it.
personality
Yeah.
to be that sort of cheater.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I'm not a cheater.
So monkeys are bold and bright
Right.
and forthright and probably a little bit of a risk taker and maybe don't think things through too well. Is that okay?
I mean,
Shall I leave now?
I think you've hit the nail on the head with
Okay.
the
Yeah.
banana on the monkey there, I
Yeah.
think.
Banana on the monkey.
But yeah, no, I think, but then also different personality traits complement each other as well,
Without a doubt.
which is why I think we work well together,
I think
and
so, yeah.
and you know that's kind of how that dynamic sort of fits together.
So would the efficient engine...
Engineer, elephant.
Yeah, would the efficient elephant seek out people... Have I just changed the camera?
you haven't, you're
Okay.
fine.
Would they seek out perhaps monkeys and say, right, I can help you and your business because I recognise you and you need help here, here and here. Is that kind of how it...
It can
how
work
it
that
works,
way,
right?
absolutely, yeah, because you recognise people either in teams or in small businesses or even your friends, and you kind of go,
Yeah.
you're in elephant mode or you're in lion mode
Yeah.
or you're a dolphin, and it does help you to work with people that slightly bit better because you understand
Sure.
how they're going to react to situations, how they're going to respond to questions, you know, if there's a change, what they're going to feel like. So yes, it's absolutely invaluable, a bit like the colours that you said as well.
Yeah.
It's so very important.
Totally, and I think so. You've gone from pretty much your story. It means that you've gone that squiggly line. I think, which
Very
is
squiggly.
why I'm excited to talk about that term squiggly line. But what makes your kind of background and where you are now squiggly? And I love that word as well.
It's a polite way of putting it, I think, really. When I look back, I think it's particularly squiggly because I didn't jump from employment to self-employment. I dipped my toe in a few times before I actually went, oh, yeah, I really do like this self-employment malarkey. So I wasn't bold and brave, wasn't a monkey to go, okay, I'm leaving my full-time employment role, I'm going into self-employment. I dipped my toe in several times, and if I go back way back when, my first experience was well over 20 years ago of self-employment. So I was still employed at that point in time. HR and recruitment's my background, been in it for 25 years. And I started doing some part-time work on a weekend. So I was Monday to Friday, solid manufacturing HR officer back in those days. Unfortunately, my husband had been made redundant, so the pennies were short, and we were like, right, let's buckle down, what do we do? At that point, he had been dipping his toe in self-employment, so he was like, right, this is the time we make decisions together. So as a team, we went, right, okay, off you go self-employed, let's give it 6-9 months, see where we're at. I did the Monday to Friday thing, and I worked on a Saturday as a self-employed recruitment associate. So that was my first kind of experience of self-employment.
Wow. So 6 days a week, pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
I'm surprised you survived
Still
that.
smiling. That's why my hair's this colour and your hair's that colour, Izzy.
And incidentally, that's why my hair's like this.
It's only a matter of time. I'm looking at either direction, like, but yeah, no, that's amazing. So really, at what point did you start to transition them from that kind of employed to when did it become the major and the minor kind of thing?
Children.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely. So I had the solid career. I stuck with being employed. You know, it's all about stability in those early parts of your career, isn't it? And bringing the steady income in, paying the mortgage, climbing the ladder, did all of that. And then we decided to have a family. So children started. And at that point, I was trying to do the whole nursery runs, part-time work. And I just got to the point where I thought, this isn't pretty. This is just not pretty at all. It just wasn't working in any shape or form. And so that's when I started again, dipping my toe in. And I did all sorts. So that's why I call it squiggly, because before I actually got to this last 10 years of solid self-employment, I started with Avon.
Oh, ding dong.
Pushing
Avon
the pram
lady.
round the street.
Yeah.
Whilst working part-time employed, I did the Avon thing. And then whilst working part-time employed, I started a company which was called Squigglers, which was a painting club for children.
Oh, I love
Totally
that.
messy, I loved it. It was great.
Squigglers.
The Squigglers, it was the creative side of me coming out.
Do you smell poster paint now and feel a wave of horror?
Yeah, stickers, glues, everything, everywhere. So there was that, and then what was the other thing? Oh, and then I moved on and I became an associate for Relax Kids, which was children's confidence coaching.
Oh, amazing.
So that was probably my first formal kind of coaching introduction.
Yeah.
But I loved that as well. And that got busier and busier. But I thought, hang on a minute, what am I doing here? Is this a business model? Is this going to pay the bills? Is this just filling my time and it's working around the children? Or is this a proper business here? So I had to really dig deep.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I then went back into HR and recruitment, but on a self-employed basis, because I thought, I definitely love self-employment. I'm staying there. I'm absolutely staying there. What am I going to do that's going to pay the bills properly? And it's got some hope in it.
Yeah.
I'd built my reputation as a HR and recruitment specialist. So I thought, right, comfort blanket time. Go for the background that you know, where you've got, you know, the people around you already, and start to build a business that way.
I had a brilliant business advisor many years ago. I've probably referred to a number of times on the podcast. Ken, it was fantastic. And again, he had two great lines that he used to say to me all the time. The first one was, "If they're not paying you, it's a hobby." That's the first thing.
Yeah,
it's sobering, isn't it?
And the one that I literally use it every week for the last 35 years is, "Can you put it in the bank, Chris?"
Yeah.
That was it. That's literally because I'm all arms and legs and excited by everything, and I'm like, I'm like a cushion. I'm influenced by the last person that sat on me, and I'm literally like, "Oh, we're doing this now, we're doing this," and I'm dead excited about everything all the time.
Good.
And it's that thing of like, yeah,
But.
that's great, that's brilliant, but can you put it in the bank, Chris?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I think that if you're self-employed, I'm flying around a bit here, but my two immediate sort of observation would be, one, I think self-employment can be quite a lonely place if you're genuinely on yourself and it's just yourself. I think that could be quite a lonely place to be. So I'd ask you kind of like to perhaps say like kind of how you'd help people or steer people, or any sort of kind of experiences you'd have from that. And the second thing is just that kind of the financial kind of, you step off, and it can be quite a long way before you suddenly hit any sort of solid ground. And I think that is also that's a bit of a moving target as well. Solid ground isn't always kind of where you think it's going to be. So again, any kind of thoughts on that, because obviously I could speak for the next five hours on that
well,
topic.
that's it. I think there's a lot that, I guess when you do kind of, when you think about going self-employed, or you see that world, or people who aren't in that world at all, and then look at it and go, oh God, that's terrifying and stuff, is that there's a lot of things people get wrong about the entrepreneurial journey, if you will. There's a lot of things people get or misinterpret about how that world is. Like, I mean, I know people who are kind of completely in that corporate world who, when I mentioned that, oh yeah, I'll go and do that on a weekend, that's fine, they'd seem absolutely terrified.
Yeah, horrified.
Or like when we say, oh yeah, of course we'll be there at 6 a.m. laying cables, that's all right, we don't have to start at 9. People are like, oh, what?
Hang on.
Like that's, and and there's realities, I think, to how, I think being self-employed or being a business owner, whatever it may be, I guess it sounds cliche when I say it, but it is more of a lifestyle than just a job you clock in. You're constantly thinking about it.
You're constantly thinking about it. But I think that's when you know whether you're right for self-employment or not. So even if you think back to when we first started this conversation and I said working traditional Monday to Friday, but then on a Saturday, even way back then, I didn't work the traditional hours. And that's kind of, to me, a sign you can do things a little bit different. You know how to work outside the parameters. But it is, and all through my self-employment, all I've done is learned. There's so many things I look back and go, oh, I did that wrong. Or actually, I wish I'd done that differently. Or actually, I'm going to learn from that and do it this way next time. It's incredible. But the loneliness that you mentioned, I have to be honest, I don't think I've ever felt that. And
that's good.
And I don't know if that's, I'm quite an introvert. I am quite a loner. You know, I'd love nothing more than going off on a walk by myself. And seriously, no podcast, nothing, no noise, just me.
Apart from this
plodding.
podcast,
Apart from this one, obviously. Excuse me.
You've got 7 seasons to listen to.
So I've never really felt that, but I have been in the fortunate position, I suppose, that my husband, as I've mentioned, is self-employed, so we both work from home together. So the house, there's always somebody in the house and where our offices are. So if it's not the kids, it's Jeff, there's always somebody around. And we have always been completely sounding boards for each other. So that would be my key takeaway for anybody. You need an absolute sounding board. If that's not somebody in your house, which 9 times out of 10, it's best if it's not, you absolutely need some sort of sounding board. And you two will do that with each other to a certain extent.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally, I think the last decade's both been a pair of sounding boards.
Pair of something. I think it's vital. I think that, firstly, I've got nothing but admiration for anybody who has the bravery to start any business, doing anything. I would never sort of be snooty about anybody's idea for a business. And if anybody says, I'm going to give this a go on any level at all, I've got nothing but respect for that. Because I think it actually does take bottle.
It does.
And there's absolutely no shame in going, actually, you know what, it didn't work out, it wasn't for me. That's also fine. You know, but I as a sort of a wise old kind of person who's been at this for quite a long time, I think that's something I feel really quite strongly about. But I think that you're right. I think just talking to people is vital, because it's also interesting that most issues in business aren't sector specific, insofar as you get into a conversation with anybody that is self-employed, runs a small business, medium-sized business, whatever. The pressures are exactly the same. It doesn't matter what you do. So I think that's, and I think it's quite nice, to go to a networking thing or whatever, that you get chatting and people go, I know what you mean. I know what that's like. And it's that in itself, I think it often makes these things worth doing in themselves. Setting aside trying to flog something. Or,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know.
And networking, that's the key word, isn't it? Is building up your network. And it's not just about attending events and getting your face on LinkedIn. It is building up those genuine connections.
100%.
I've had a mentor with me right the way back from the days of Squigglers. She is still my business mentor. We might not see each other every month. It might just be once a year sometimes, but we have always stayed in touch with each other. And she's my sounding board as well. I literally ring her and say, I just need your time. I just need you to be brutally honest with me. And she absolutely is. So that's, I think that's
I think
the
honesty is
other,
another great word, isn't
Oh,
it?
totally.
Yeah.
And I think I guess as well with, I mean, particularly in the creative industry, but I mean, I can only speak for that because I've only really worked in that industry for the last 10 years or so. But the resilience you need, I think, is something that you have to kind of learn the hard way, I think, in this. And that maybe is contributing to that squiggly lineness and that sort of like, I don't think there is any linear path really to self-employment. And I think because I was self-employed for quite some time within sort of the film industry, and that experience of you have to always be ready to just kind of pick yourself up, go again, and just pick another direction and off. And I think where I've ended up, I don't think that if you'd have asked me 10 years ago where I'll be, I would never have kind of said, oh, well, I've gone and done this and this and this and this, and it automatically becomes squiggly.
It does automatically become squiggly. And I think at the time when you make changes or you move direction, you kind of think, oh, I'm changing again, or I'm doing something different again. Yeah. And it's only now that I look back and go, yeah, but that was the right thing to do, because look at where I am now, and actually that's fitting into this piece of the jigsaw. And you know, it takes that time, doesn't it, to be able to look back on the squiggly line and go, oh, but it's led me to this point, and so therefore it's right. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I suppose the second part of the squiggly line experience that I've had is not being just the self-employment types that I've tried, but it's also been just this last 10 years that I've settled on the HR and recruitment experience and self-employment direction that I've had. Even that's changing now, which you'll know more about, Izzy, yourself, over this last 6 months. I'm changing the business now at this moment in time. And I think that's a key element to it. It's okay to change. I would not have thought of that a while ago. I would have thought, right, okay, that's my business plan. That's what I'm going to do. That's the agenda. That's the action plan. I have to stick with it. But now my attitude is quite different. I'm much more flexible, much more adaptable, whether that's because I need a change or the market needs a change. I'm much more open to that, as well as the resilience. I know we haven't finished talking about that, but yeah, I think that's what I'm much more open to as well.
Yeah, because I think as well it's that the belief, I suppose, that flexibility doesn't mean failure. And get that on a poster, just saying. But no, because I think, like, because when I had my daughter and stuff like that, I went through the same thing where you think, oh my God, you know, I was thinking, before I had her, I was like, oh, she'll sort of bounce in the corner in a little chair and I'll do a full day's work, and then up she gets, and now she's basically like chasing me around the house and, you know, she'll just be running around with a 400-pound hard drive, and I'm like, oh my God, put that down, you know. So like,
you didn't tell me that bit.
Yeah, no, she has done that once. But but what I mean is that in itself, you think, right, okay, well, now you have to get into a survival mode, into adapting mode, and right, okay, how do I work this? But you don't have time to plan. You've just got to do it, and then you're in it, and then you kind of come out the other side, and you go, oh, I've done that now, or oh, this is how it is now. There's no real like, I don't know. There's no like, you sit down and review your last year sort of thing. You just kind of deep in the trenches.
Yeah.
I think that kind of applies to life in general, doesn't it?
Oh, does it? I thought I'd gotten out the other side.
Well, I could start this with when I had my daughter, and we could carry this conversation on, you know.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But it changes, and as long as you can accept that, you go with it, don't you? And you build your self-employment life around that. As long as you go back to the why. Why did you set up the business? Why did you become self-employed? And for me, it always has been, and it always will be, about the children and about the family life.
Yeah, totally.
It absolutely gave us the flexibility that we needed back then. The children are older now, but I still need the flexibility to a certain extent. And the way that I can now manipulate my days, my weeks, my months, I find that easier than being employed. The thought of being employed, I feel a little bit sick.
You lose the power a little bit, don't you?
I just know I couldn't give. I feel like I can give 110% when I'm self-employed. I don't think I can when I'm employed. I think I have too many other restrictions and need too much flexibility that I'm probably unemployable right now.
Do you know, so many people, so many business owners say that. That's quite a quite a phrase that I do hear.
Yeah, like
I've been known to say it.
Yeah, because Chris has never worn a uniform, which even
Never a job.
No.
I've never worn a uniform in my life.
Wow.
Not that I'll admit to on this podcast. No, I've never worn a uniform. I've never did my school. Never had a school uniform. Never.
Wow.
Never wore it. No. I've never had to be anywhere really. For any reason.
So you choose to be here.
I choose to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that's it, and I think the.
What's the uniform thing got to do with that?
Well, no, because what I mean is
how
that,
did we
like,
get onto that?
No, I think it was because when you were saying about the feeling like you're unemployable and being in that rigid kind of, my whole childhood was you on that squiggly line as well. So it's like I've seen it firsthand, and then I've kind of joined the line.
It was interesting actually. That's just reminded me in the questionnaire we did earlier to establish animal characteristics.
Yes.
One of the questions,
not physical, not actual characteristics.
Well, no, yeah, okay.
Stop it.
One of the questions was, how would you react if an adult shouted at you?
Yeah.
And my immediate response was, well, no adult will ever shout at me, and if they did, I'd just leave. And like what I'm saying is, I could never be in an environment
where you take it,
right.
where I take it. If someone, and maybe that makes me sound like a complete, arrogant whatever. But what I'm saying is, because I've only ever owned and run my own business and worked for myself.
Yeah.
I've never been in a position where anybody's ever shouted at me.
Right. Should we change that, Izzy?
Yeah. right. Well, apart from me.
And I think that was I think that was quite a strange question to hear. And I find the idea of adults shouting at each other, I find quite funny, but also quite sad. Am I going off on a tangent?
No, this
here,
feels like a mentoring session. There
we go. There's the mentoring
you know what
session.
I mean? Like I couldn't imagine having a boss shouting at me. I think I'd just laugh or leave.
Yeah, and I don't think that's acceptable anymore, is it?
No, I don't think it is. No.
It's really. I mean, when we're talking about uniforms, it takes me back to way back when, working in manufacturing, and we did have uniforms. It was literally the blue navy trousers, the polo shirt, steel cap toe shoes, really sexy.
Yeah.
He got the really, really good look going on, with my pixie haircut. I'm not going to say anymore. It just wasn't a good look. But that's probably more the environment where, and it was a Japanese culture.
Right.
So you didn't necessarily get shouted at, but there was this headmastership kind of culture that made you feel a little bit like, okay, how would I react in this situation?
Yeah. So like a worker bee kind of thing as
whoosh,
well.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the thing is that because, I mean, a lot about what we do as a business and similar to your brand as well is that we all have, I mean, dare I say, we've all got quite strong personal brands as business owners and self-employed people.
I think it's the same thing, isn't it?
What?
Is a business owner and a self-employed, is that the same thing?
I don't know. Is it the same thing?
Is it the same thing, Hayley?
I think it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. Well, as three self-employed people.
Yeah.
Okay, it's three self-employed
I think
people.
that's where I think that we've all built our own kind of personal brands and I like your little elephant emoji and your name on LinkedIn and stuff like that. And I think that I guess now everyone is significantly more visible in the world of work with things like social media and email, and we're all very, very present on podcasts and stuff like this.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure there'll be people out there who are on that squiggly line who feel like, oh, well, what will people think if I do this? Or if I change this, or if I do this, will people think or judge that about me? Like, what would you say about kind of that experience and whether that even matters and whether you shouldn't really care about what you've left behind and focus on what's in front of you?
Again, it depends whether you're a monkey, a lion, a dolphin, an elephant, how you react to that. I do care what people think, which is probably why I'm probably so late to the personal branding game. I think I really am. It's only probably been this last 3 years that I've really got quite comfortable with it. And that's about building up your confidence and getting to that point where you're ready to be out there. So yes, I think it does matter. It's so very important. It's critical now. It's a game changer, isn't it? But I think that only comes when you feel totally and utterly in love with what you do and what your business is. And for all I've loved self-employment, I probably haven't been in love with what I've done for quite a while. until more recently, the way that I'm changing the business and focusing it differently, I feel so much clearer with what my message is. I feel like my communications are consistent. Like you've mentioned, the elephants, my branding, it's just a little bit out there, whereas it wasn't before. But that has taken me, I mean, how long? How long is this squiggly line? It's gone on quite a while until I've got to this point. But I think you have to go through all those curves and all those bumps to actually get to this point, don't you? Because just unless you're a different personality and you can just go, okay, I'm self-employed, I'm a business owner, this is what it's going to look like and I'm going out there, I'm going to go for it. That's not what I've been comfortable with. So mine's been a very soft launch, hasn't it? And just dripping on the stone. But, you know, it again, if you love it, I'm in love with it. I believe in it. I'm clear about what it means, what it is, what it can do for other people, that I think it then just makes it that little bit easier.
Yeah, 100%. And that comes across as well. That's the other thing as well. That authenticity, I hate that word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's kind of like you can't fake that, can you?
No, absolutely
and I
not.
think that, you know, and that comes with experience. It comes with all the things that that comes with you.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's important.
And it comes from going back to what you mentioned about the resilience and how being a business owner or self-employed, same thing. It comes with that resilience that comes over time, doesn't it? Because if I think back to what I said before about the business was set up purely to help people, but also to fit around my family. And that's what I still go back to and always will. But along the way, the business plan completely tumbled. I was really up and running for about 5 years. I was really up and running with my business. It was working around the children. It was doing really well. Lots had gone on at home, just normal stuff, until unfortunately, I don't know if either of you know this, but I had breast cancer, and that completely threw the squiggly line completely off the scale. And why I mention that is because it actually completely knocked my confidence in business, because all I ever wanted to do was deliver to the best of my ability to my clients. And what it did to me was it made me very nervous to go out there, have clients and say that I could deliver, when in the back of my mind I was thinking, but what if, but what if, but what if? So it took me quite a long time to actually build my confidence back up to go back out there. Kindly enough, after that, COVID came along.
Oh no, one thing after the other.
Whack. So that did a great big punch in the stomach.
Reset then.
Yeah, a bit of a reset. So then we had a reset. And then after that, again, it was about, okay, what's now right for me, for the market, for the business? What's right for my skills and experience? And do I have the confidence to go out there and continue? Yeah. Okay, I do have the confidence to go out there and continue. Do I have the confidence to go out there and continue doing what I'm doing? No. I want to change it. Yeah. I want to switch it up a little bit. I want to adapt. I want to change. And that's where we get to now. So
brilliant.
I love that. What an
it's a hellish line, isn't it? It's great.
No, but that's I mean, gosh, I mean, that's the squiggliest of squiggles that I think you could possibly have.
There are very few, and that's the other thing about when you're self-employed, is if you do have a health issue, whatever, it's the absolute sort of polar opposite than if you're employed, because it's just a different. You worry about your business, you worry about what people are going to think, whether people are going to sort of stick with you, whatever. Whereas if you're employed, it's all about kind of where you fit in that business, and it's all about support. Yeah. And I think that it can get in your head a little bit, can't it? If you were unfortunate enough to be ill and running your own business, it can be a tricky situation.
Yeah, because you end up kind of, that resilience has to play a massive, massive part, doesn't it? Because I think that gets me on to my other question, which leads in very nicely, which is that self-employment, you do it for the love of it as well as the money. You do it to get by. You do it for because it's the way to go for you and it's your personal choice. But it doesn't mean you always have to enjoy it. Is that
absolutely agree.
Because I think that's the thing as well, is that people think, and it is very common in the creative industry in particular, that people think that we do this because we love filmmaking, we love video, we do it for free if we could all the time, kind of thing. And
people think we'd be doing it anyway.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That we'd be out.
And it's like when we've been asked several times to do full projects for free or as a favour or whatever, and there is always that perception of, well, why wouldn't you? Because you love doing this, don't you? This is your hobby. This is your thing. And actually, no, it's there's a reality to these things. Yeah. Like, I guess what would you say to people who are sort of in self-employment potentially, you're on that squiggly line and thinking, I don't want to go back to being employed or start being employed, but also, oh God, how do I pump some life back into it and enjoy it again?
Find a way. Absolutely. Stick with the self-employment. If that's what you love, stick with it, but just find another way. It might mean retraining. It might mean going out there to different networking events or connecting with different people. But absolutely stick with it and just find a way that's right for you.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I would say also focus on the bits that make self-employment unique. Things like the hours in the day you can choose. Because so many people go, well, I work 9 till 5. Because I've always worked 9 to 5, and everybody works 9 till 5. So, like, we're all sat on the A1, all trying to get to the same place at 8 o'clock on the morning. So it was like, well, why don't I just come up at 6 o'clock in the morning? Or why don't I just wait till 10?
Yeah.
I'm the boss, I can do what I like.
And that makes us efficient, Chris.
Yeah.
Efficient
And
people.
just remember, you don't. That's a great thing about running your own business.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you say, well, actually, I'm going to do my accounts on a Sunday afternoon because I don't want to do them on a Monday.
Yeah.
And actually, there's this. It's remembering those things and you can have an afternoon off.
Yeah.
And you can do stuff that's different to being employed.
Do you ever feel like you're skiving?
No.
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 I do.
I did in the early days,
Not really.
but now, no.
Because because even when I was off ill a couple of weeks ago, I didn't make it clear to you at all, did I? No, I was like, oh, but
swooning.
But even in that week, when I was thinking, oh, actually, I'm gonna have to just wait this out. I'm gonna have to just accept my fate and be ill and just deal with it. Even then, there'd be a bit of the back of my mind going, oh, you're skiving. Oh, get back to work, you absolute lazy person. And you have to go, actually, no, it's in my control to move my calendar around to give me that space. But
I think it's about also having a thing where I know what you mean, but where you think, actually, I could just do this, or I'd like to do this, or, if we've got some new tech that I want to get into and learn, or that you can, actually, I do have to remember that I'm doing this, like you're saying, for family reasons, and these are the choices that I made to kind of stick with the program.
Yeah.
I think that's an issue that you can. That's the flip side to owning your own business. You could work 24 hours a day if you wanted to.
Absolutely.
There's no one to stop you.
Yeah.
And you can there's benefit you might believe in doing that. So I think it's all about discipline and sticking to the plan, isn't it?
Yeah, but also finding what's right for you.
Yeah.
Because just as we talked about before we came on the podcast, the holiday situation, we've just been away. We didn't switch off completely because that's not what we want to do. That's not how we operate our businesses. We're not, don't get me wrong, we're not on, FaceTime or on Zooms or Teams every day. We are just checking in. We're replying to things that we need to, and if we need to make a couple of calls, then we will. But that's our way. That's our way of switching off.
Yeah.
Because the thought of going blind for 9-10 days and then coming back to it all, that frightens us more.
You spend half your holiday worrying about it.
Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah.
But it's just like you said, picking up on the positives. What is right for you. But absolutely find a way to stick with it.
Oh, totally. Brilliant. And I think that's it. And there's so many, God, we could talk for hours.
Yes.
But I think that, sorry, I'm looking at my questions. I will cut this bit out, don't you worry. So basically, before we end up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a silly question, but before I do that, I'm going to cut this bit out. So, Hayley.
Yes.
Where can people find you? What is it that, if there's someone, so we get as well people who listen to the podcast episodes where there's guests. I mean, people are more interested in the guests than us, I think. At this
Rightly so.
But we do get contacted where they say, "Oh, can I work with this person? This really resonated with me, and this is really exciting." Okay. What would you say to that person who's driving in their car or in their gym right now and listening to your voice, going, "Hayley, you're the one to save me"?
Contact me on LinkedIn. That is my space completely. So I am just on LinkedIn, just as Hayley Ramm, not as the efficient elephant, but yes, on LinkedIn, definitely. And it's all business mentoring for SMEs and business owners that I'm focusing on now, because being self-employed for this length of time, I've been the sounding board for quite a lot of SMEs over the last 10 years. So now I'm moving that into a more commercial space. So yes, any business mentoring opportunities, then it's LinkedIn to find me.
Any sort of perfect sized business, anybody, any personality traits?
Any monkeys or elephants?
In terms of what types of business, like you mentioned before, any industry, absolutely, because it's so transferable, isn't it? But the way I've been pitching it is I very much work with businesses businesses that are classed as the in-betweeners. So it's not your startup people, because I genuinely think you've got, the likes of here, the North East BIC, they've got wonderful business advisors here that are great for startup businesses. For that first, 12, 18 months, they can absolutely hold your hand. Then you've got business consultants, business advisors that are perhaps for those organisations that want to scale up overnight. That's not for me. That's not where my skill set sits. My skill set sits very much for those in-betweener businesses, those ones that have maybe, been at the BIC for 12, 18 months. Then the hand is dropped and they have nobody by their sides anymore. It's a bit like, when you come out of hospital with the baby in the carry cart. And you're trying to put the baby into the car seat in the back of the car, and then you're driving back from the hospital and you go, hang on a minute, I'm by myself here. There's no midwife holding my hand. There's no nurse or doctor tell me what to do. I have to keep this baby alive. It's a bit like that with your business. Okay, how do I do this when I haven't got somebody holding my hand? So it's very much those in-betweener businesses that I'll be supporting.
I love that. And there's a lot of those out there as well.
Yeah,
that I feel
loads.
and I think that's it, the perception of everyone has to look like they're doing amazing all the time online. I think that's the thing, is that a lot of people will be like going, actually, I can't show that I'm feeling like that. So, a bit like parenthood, you've got to look confident all the time, but often no one knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
But you didn't. I'm joking. You really did. But
No, I don't. Still don't.
right,
We never do.
Yeah.
We never do.
So you're saying I'll never figure it out?
No,
No.
never, Izzy.
But thank you so much,
Thank
Hayley,
you
for coming
both.
in.
Brilliant, thank you.
And I do have to end with my silly question.
Okay, here we go.
I was trying to crib
Yeah.
your silly question, but I haven't got my glasses on.
John mine.
Can I just say, if you watch back the previous episodes, you say that every time.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh,
you need
gosh.
to get reading glasses. But right.
Get a bigger font.
Children,
I was going to say,
come on.
you're here to mediate.
Yes.
So it's not really a silly question. It might have been one that we've answered before, but let's face it, I
Oh,
don't
you're
think.
recycling questions
I don't
now.
think. I don't think you'll remember it. So
Okay.
we'll start as if it's brand new.
Okay.
If you were going to have a traditional employed job that you've never had before, what would it be? So if you weren't self-employed, you had to be employed, and it was something different that you haven't done before,
Is
what
it
would
based
it be?
on reality and skill sets that you've got, or is it just based on like, I wish I was an astronaut?
I mean, let's go with skills. Let's go with
Okay, right.
skills.
Well, I can answer both, actually.
Hayley, over to
On
you.
a skill set basis, I would have loved to have been a business advisor for the North East BIC. Yeah,
Really?
absolutely.
Well, you heard it here first.
Yeah,
folks.
no, I absolutely would. What a brilliant team! And if I could be employed, then there's no other team that I would go to.
That's
so that's
amazing.
definitely from a
You're on
skill
commission.
set. I know, from a non-skill set basis. Here's your answer. I would like to be a post lady. I would, because I love walking. I love getting up early and just knocking on the doors of people and be cheery and saying hello to people, and
Posting.
a
And you
posting.
can wear shorts all year round.
Yeah, dream.
Drive your little red van, have a little black and white cat.
Again, you
Love
heard it here first.
I was going to say, so if Royal Mail or the North East BIC
Yeah.
are listening, get in touch with Hayley straight away. That is amazing. And
Izzy,
here we
how
go.
about you?
So you go, because I'm still thinking about one.
I think I do remember this, and I think I might have said it before. I'd like to be an architect.
Oh.
You haven't said that before, but that is interesting.
Okay, well, I blow where the wind blows today, Matthew. No,
Is that on skill set? Is that based on skill, or is
I
that?
can see that. I can actually.
I wouldn't trust any building that I drew, of course. 'cause
You're very good at Jenga,
It would
if that
look
counts.
good, but it'd probably fall down.
Good at Jenga.
I'd like something engineering-y.
And if you didn't have the skill set whatsoever,
Oh God, just like I don't know, rock star, Formula One driver, astronaut.
all of them.
Something
at
quite
once.
basic.
Just
Yeah.
basically whatever an
basic.
8-year-old boy would like to be. That's what I'd like to be.
So I'm sat between a rock star and a post woman.
So, but
here.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I think for me, if it was not really skill set based, but just because I find it very satisfying, is working as in one of those really fancy coffee shops as a really fancy barista. You know the ones
Would
with
you do
all
the
Oh, no.
hearts on top
Yeah,
and things?
No, you need a law degree for that.
Yeah, well, no.
Sorry.
Dad jokes, bringing them out. But when you see them with them, because you watch them working with the big coffee machines and the rags and the cups, I think, that looks really satisfying.
Okay.
Or if it was completely non-skill set based, it would probably be a pilot. But seeing as I have terrible eyesight, rubbish at maths, can't really see in the dark, I'd be a rubbish.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah, that's not a great
The
idea.
RAF haven't contacted me yet. And that's a wrap on this episode of Looks Like We Made It. Thanks for tuning in, and whether you're here for the video marketing insights, the storytelling magic, or just to hear me and my dad talk shop, we drop new episodes every other Tuesday, so hit that follow button and stay tuned for more tips, real life experiences, and behind the scenes stories from the world of content creation. If you want to keep the conversation going, you can find us on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and our website. Just search for Howell Media and say hi. We'd love to hear your thoughts, answer your questions, or even have you on the show, just like Hayley. If you've got a great story to share or fancy joining us for a chat, just like Hayley, drop us a message. We're always looking for inspiring guests, just like Hayley. So until next time, keep creating, keep storytelling, and remember, every great piece of content starts with an idea, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.